Better known by her pen name, Megan Thee Stallion has been a hot topic these past few years. Between her mother's death in 2019 and allegedly being shot in July of 2020 by Canadian rapper Tory Lanez, things have continued to be difficult for the Houston hottie. As Tory Lanez's criminal trial for the shooting plays out, many have been confused by the contradicting testimony of Thee Stallion's former friend, Kelsey Harris, who was also present at the time of the shooting. Prior to 2019, the two women had been nearly inseparable. Now it seems as if they cannot stand to be in the presence of one another. The question is, what happened between Megan Thee Stallion and Kelsey Harris that caused the destruction of what seemed to be such a strong bond? In 2013, Megan Thee Stallion attended Prairie View A&M University, where she was studying health administration. It is here where Megan reportedly met and got close with her now ex-friend Kelsey Harris. The two were a part of a trio that was well known on their college campus, which included Megan's other best friend, Darren Kyle. The three were extremely popular for their twerking videos that they would post on each other's Instagrams, which eventually led all three of them to a disciplinary meeting with their school's administration. Since then, all three had been thicker than thieves, always getting up to something together. Once Megan's career began to take off after the 2019 Billboard hit Big Ol' Freak, she had to reduce her class schedule down to part-time. Thee Stallion was no longer able to spend as much time with her best friends, and the music industry can be a very lonely gig. It is then that she noticed that Kelsey was a business-oriented and organized person, a hustler who could match her hustle. So Megan believed that she was killing two birds with one stone when she hired Kelsey on as her assistant. During this time, it seemed as if Kelsey was Megan's #1 supporter. Harris even helped the Stallion go up against a major record label in Houston, 1501 Certified Entertainment, and their founder, Carl Crawford. When this occurred, she was all over Instagram backing Megan, particularly in this one post where she replied to a fan accusing Megan of being disloyal to the 1501 company, where she stated, "Megan ain't never been greedy in her life, and whatever Carl Crawford invested, he made back plus more." She didn't attempt to sign with anyone else. She never not once tried to leave 1501. She simply enhanced her career by accepting a management deal, which she needed at the scale she was on. And there are plenty more posts like this where Kelsey Harris can be seen defending Megan's character, which illustrates the upstanding loyalty that Kelsey Harris had for Megan prior to July of 2020. A direct contrast between the relationship they have currently. They have made it very clear that they no longer wish to be anything to one another. In fact, Megan Thee Stallion even dissed Kelsey Harris in her song Shots Fired, which was made in response to Tory Lanez's diss track album, Daystar. In this song, Megan addresses both Lanez and Harris, but mainly she goes after Tory Lanez for releasing an entire album about her. But Kelsey Harris was definitely catching strays. And just like the title implies, her words were like bullets. The Stallion did not name any names, yet we clearly knew who she was referring to when she said, "You offered M's not to talk. I guess that made my friend excited. Now y'all in cahoots, huh? Okay, you a Puss in Boots." And, "I know you want attention from the niggas that I get. I'm a steak, you a side plate, shrimp. Stay in your place. Real yeah. I ain't selling fairy tales. FaceTime my while my other laying there. Think she sabotaging something, trying to run and tell." Kelsey also responded with a diss track of her own, Bussin' Back, and she definitely fired back. In her single, Harris implies that Megan had been a bad friend to her because she chose not to defend her from the public scrutiny she was receiving after news that Megan had been shot circulated the internet. But the reason Megan had not jumped to her rescue was because Megan stated that Kelsey Harris had allegedly met up with Tory Lanez just days after he shot her best friend in the foot. Megan also implied that she believed that Harris might have taken hush money from Tory Lanez in an interview she did with Rolling Stones titled "Reclaiming Her Story." Megan states, "I'm like, Kelsey, as my best friend, why would you meet up with the person you saw shoot your best friend? You're the only person in this situation that would clear this up for me." And all I know was, from that day on, she never said nothing else about the whole situation online. Since then, Megan Thee Stallion and Kelsey Harris have been at odds, with the shooting being the main point of contingency between the two. For context, here's a recap of the events leading up to the shooting taken from Megan's testimony. On the night of July 11th, 2020, Megan Thee Stallion, Tory Lanez, and Kelsey Harris all attended a party in the Hollywood Hills. This party was hosted by socialite and brand owner Kylie Jenner. According to Megan, she wanted to leave the party early, and this sparked an argument between her and Tory Lanez. Many speculate that Megan wanting to leave the party had something to do with jealousy, because the two had been rumored to be dating during that time, and Megan Thee Stallion confirmed this during her testimony. She also revealed that she was hiding this relationship from her best friend and assistant, Kelsey Harris. A GQ article titled, "Here's a full breakdown of everything that happened in Tory Lanez's trial," paraphrased Megan's testimony about what happened. The article states, Lanez allegedly said to her, "You need to stop lying to your friend," meaning Harris, about their relationship. That led to further argument with Lanez calling both women bitches and hoes. It is rumored that she hid the relationship from her best friend because Harris supposedly had developed romantic feelings for Lanez, and Megan knew this prior to starting her relationship with him. It is also alleged that this was not the first time Megan had been romantically involved with someone that Harris had also been romantically linked to. In their SUV, Megan and Tory Lanez continued their heated argument. Once the exchange between Megan and Lanez became too much for her, Megan decided to exit the car. Megan recalls opening the door of the SUV, getting just a couple feet away, and then hearing, "Dance, bitch," before Tory Lanez, allegedly, stood up and shot her feet through the window. Upon hearing the gunshots and feeling the pain in her feet, Megan said she was at a loss of what to do. She could not run because her feet had bullets in them, and now he has proven that he will shoot her if she tries anything. Her only choice would be to return to the SUV. However, the SUV would soon be stopped by LAPD because there had been a report of gunshots fired from an SUV following an argument. In a video taken by bystanders, Megan can be seen exiting the vehicle, limping and leaving a trail of blood behind her, while Kelsey was laid down on the ground behind her. When the video of Megan Thee Stallion limping down the street with her hands up in the air as she's being directed by the cops had first dropped, the internet went wild trying to figure out what exactly happened to her. Initially, Megan lied to the police about what had happened to her foot. She was scared. She had just been shot in the foot, and now the police are holding her at gunpoint as well. She believed that if she told the police that Tory Lanez, a black man, had a gun that he had just fired, all three of them would end up dead. Therefore, she told the police that she had stepped on glass. For a while, Megan had not actually disclosed any information on the shooting, and when she finally addressed the situation, she did not announce Tory Lanez's involvement. Subsequently, this would lead to many doubting that she was shot, and if she was, they doubt that she was shot by Tory Lanez. Recently, it has come to light that Megan Thee Stallion and Kelsey Harris had also gotten into some sort of altercation that night. This, coupled with Megan admitting that she and Lanez had been hiding their relationship from Harris, has made it seem as if Harris could potentially be the shooter. Either way, one thing's for sure, Megan Thee Stallion was shot in her foot. Back to the alleged altercation between Megan and Kelsey. This information had not been disclosed until Tory Lanez's lawyer said there was a witness who had seen them fighting during a preliminary hearing. This paints both Megan and Kelsey Harris in a very bad light. Neither one of them had spoken up about this at any point. In addition to keeping this key information to themselves, neither one of the girls had a solid story. Although their lack of solid story could be due to them both admitting to being intoxicated that night, it will still cast doubt on their retelling of the night's events leading up to the shooting. Despite this, Megan Thee Stallion would still deliver her testimony as honestly as she could, and her story aligned with the statement she and Kelsey Harris gave back in September of 2022. Kelsey, on the other hand, backtracked on several important details of her story. Specifically, she said that she could not actually see Tory Lanez shoot Megan Thee Stallion. In Kelsey Harris's original statement, there were three key things that Megan Thee Stallion's lawyers were relying on for their case. 1. She said she heard gunshots and seen Tory Lanez with a gun pointed at Megan Thee Stallion's feet. 2. She said that Tory Lanez pulled her out of the car by her hair. And 3. She suggested that Tory Lanez attempted to bribe her with hush money after all that occurred. Yet when she took the stand, Harris recanted nearly everything she had previously stated and actively used her Fifth Amendment right repeatedly during her cross-examination. Variety features many retellings of Harris's testimony where she is caught blatantly contradicting her own story in their article, Kelsey Harris Continues to Backtrack in Testimony for Megan Thee Stallion Shooting. It is here that we...
I just always feel like in this whole situation, in this whole story, I've never really talked about it. But I always feel so like, I don't get how the heck is someone so dumb to basically let someone shoot them in the foot, shoot at them, and then not tell anybody that they were shot. Not saying that it didn't happen. No, I know that it happened. The fact that someone got shot and didn't tell anybody, it's like these people are fucking animals, honestly. I'm sorry, but you guys live like animals. You think like animals. You don't think within the law. You think as if you'll get shot and you're just not going to tell anyone that you got shot. You're not going to tell anyone who shot you. Like, something's wrong with you. And it's not just that. I mean, part of the defense was to say that the other person shot the person who wasn't saying that she was shot. And that was interesting to me because it's like, okay, so you mean to tell me that there's one idiot here who's getting shot at by a person, won't tell the police who shot them, won't tell them that they're shot, which could actually have detrimental effect on their own health. Because they're so stupid, they're scared of police or whatever, because they, like I said, they live like a freaking animal who doesn't obey the law, doesn't listen to the law, doesn't ask for help from police. You know, you live like a freaking animal, basically. And then the other one, who's just too dumb to realize what it's doing to itself. I understand these people do drugs and all this stuff, and so they can't think right. But really, you mean to tell me the defense was saying that Kelsey was the shooter? Okay, Kelsey goes on stand and basically tries to change her story to make it seem like she shot the lady or whatever. I don't understand why someone is that fucking dumb to really say that they're willing to say that they were the one who shot someone. I think they're doing that. Them doing that implies if you were paid off to do that, if they really take your story for what it is, then they'll arrest you and take you to jail. I don't get that. To me, it's like, I guess it goes back down to how people always say the mammy behavior and all that stuff. They'll do anything for their black man or whatever. Some people say that. And you could say that's a big symptom of this situation. Somebody got shot by their black man and they're still not telling anyone. Reminds me of that Forensic File episode I watched. This dude, basically, he did something like that was very physically abusive, which would imply he attempted to murder her. And she just said that horses attacked her in the barn. But then the next time, he finally did it right the next year. or whatever. And then she wrote something down just to let people know that that's what happened to her. I thought, really, nobody should have even avenged her death, because honestly, you're so stupid that you're willing to stay with a man who's trying to, kill you, and you're not even letting anyone know this. It's the same thing here. Only she didn't decide to stay with him, of course. Most likely, though, not because she chose not to stay with him, most likely because of how he's acting. Because after he shot her, he started acting very hostile to Megan. So maybe she started admitting that he shot her because she knew there was no chance of being with him. It's just so sick. How the fuck are you trying to be with somebody who just shot you in the freaking foot over and over again? It's the same thing as that lady, in my opinion. Like, some people are just so desperate and so they don't give a darn about their own health or their own well-being. They just care about a man who has shot you several times and obviously doesn't care about you. And then also, it's not just that, like the other one, having no regard for their own well-being either. Trying to lie for this guy whose defense is literally saying that you committed the crime. You're trying to take on that crime like a freaking idiot. He must only have a diet of dating dummy idiots. Okay? He must, like, the retarded kind of dumb. Because these people are displaying retarded behavior. Both of these people are displaying retarded behavior. And it's so freaking annoying. This is why I ignore this story. Because it's so annoying. Why are there two dumb people? Like, these people are extremely dumb. One, lying about who shot them, not admitting that they were shot, because they still want the man who shot them. And then the other one trying to take on the defense opinion of them being the shooter, when clearly there is recorded evidence showing that he shot her, and it's obvious that he shot her. But it's just annoying to me. And even honestly, if let's just be realistic, if somebody actually did shoot her and it was someone else that was being set to shoot that person, even in that case, who the heck is going to take on the defense's opinion of saying that they committed that crime if they're trying to get away with committing the crime? You get what I'm saying? Only idiot mammies, I guess. These are great examples of two crazy mammies who are so willing to put their own life at the line, their own freedom on the line for some guy who shot somebody. It's so weird to me. This whole story was weird. That's why I just don't even like talking about it, because it's extremely odd. Who the heck doesn't say who shot them? Who the heck doesn't even admit that they were shot? Who the heck tries to take on the defense view of somebody else being the defendant of committing a specific crime of shooting someone and trying to take it on as themselves being the shooter when they know full well they weren't the shooter? Like, these people are idiots, and no wonder they were friends, because I guess birds flock together. And, obviously in this situation they both were crazy dumb idiots, in my opinion. I'm not saying that the other guy obviously wasn't a person with issues. Of course he was. I just always thought everybody handled this situation like freaking idiots. Okay? Reason why is because, okay, you go and shoot somebody and then you start talking as if you didn't shoot somebody, trying to attack the person you already shot. You're basically trying to agitate them and try and encourage them to tell on you. Like, he was an idiot too. All three of you. This is why you say no to drugs. This is why you say no to drugs, because for whatever reason, I think they all have diminished brains and they can't think properly. They don't make decisions well in their situations, and they all are acting really weirdly compared to what normal people would do in those situations. If you shoot somebody, you don't try to agitate the person you shot into telling on you. You don't go around trying to pretend you didn't shoot them when everybody can tell that all the evidence points to the fact that you did shoot them. And to the other people, obviously you don't just go try to pretend you weren't shot. Go to the hospital, who obviously they're going to be able to tell that you were shot. Obviously they know you didn't step on glass. And the other person, obviously, trying to take on the defense role and try and say you were the one who shot her, even though everyone knows you didn't. We have recorded evidence showing that he specifically apologized for shooting her. Like, you guys are all three dumb idiots probably because you did drugs and it just diminished your brains, and now you can't even move accordingly. You can't even handle your business properly at this point. Instead, you guys all end up looking like fucking fools. So that's all I have to say. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, comment down below, and have a great day. Bye, guys.